Hey everybody, you're listening to Profoundish. Listen, this episode's for the boys only because we're talking about beards. I mean, anybody can listen, but you know what I'm trying to say. We're talking beards, and we also both tell a couple stories. I tell a story about how after 15 years, I learned that I was cutting my beard wrong. And Weston tells a story that involves his beard and a random drunk guy at the bar. And then later on, we play a little bit of a Mandela effect game about famous mascots and whether or not they have facial hair. Put this all together, and you've got some magic. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Profoundish.
If you forget your topic, we can always just improv it. I'm very good at that.
We seem to both be. We can just kind of go and talk. I mean, we just talked for almost an hour before recording.
Which I mean, there's just so much to catch up on and YouTube stuff. But yeah, both of what we do on like YouTube is improv. You literally run an improv music show. That takes chops.
Well, I appreciate you saying that. The jam and chats are quite interesting. Did you by chance check out the Chat GPT one I did? Were you there for that? I can't remember.
I wasn't there for that one. Was that... I don't remember what day that came out on. That was a day that I was actually going to try to make, I think, and then couldn't. And then I never went back and listened to it. I wanted to, because I don't remember if it was on the show or if it was outside the show. You mentioned that you were going to try to do one that was like AI generated. I was like, oh, I should watch that because I'm curious, and I have not yet seen it.
Well, that's okay. I'm planning on doing another one sometime soon because it did fairly well, which makes sense because that stuff's kind of trending right now. But
yeah,
it was really, for me, it kind of worked almost another part of the improv section of my brain because, so the lyrics were generated for me, so it gave me more time to be creative just musically instead of having to run both parts, which is really tough to think of lyrics and different music at the same time. So it was really fun to have the words already there, and then I can just read them and just in real time, and then just have more time to focus my creativity on music. So some of the songs I think were a little more interesting than usual, a little more catchy because I had more time to focus just my improv on that. So that was awesome. It was really fun. We had a good time.
Well, and I like coming from the realm of like poetry, because I like to write little haiku. They're senryu, but no one knows what that is. So I write little haiku. And what's fun about writing those specifically is that they're so short, and the rules, like the 5-7-5 structure is like a really rigid structure set to like follow. And so when you're given those parameters, you have to be really creative to work within them. And sometimes that can be just really fun, and it gives you like that one thing to focus on, as opposed to like when I write a free form poem there are no rules. It could be anything, right? You kind of get lost in that. Well, but does this look right? Does it sound right? You know, because there are no rules to go by. So I kind of get that from that aspect where it's like, okay, so you don't have to worry about the lyrics. The AI is creating the weird lyrics. You don't have to worry about them being weird. The AI invented it. It's not your problem. You're just making the music. So I kind of get that.
I'm a huge advocate for, really expanding upon your creativity when you're given limitations. That reminds me of, there used to be these, people would talk about some of the most iconic, like old video game songs, like your Marios and your Zeldas, and like the old 8-bit songs. And you think about, they're so iconic and memorable, and it's because they had so little to work with. They had to make them stick out because they, you had like 2-bit tracks and then like a percussive track and that's it. And like, I don't even know how that really all worked. I don't claim to, but that makes so much sense. And that's, you hear music now in video games, which, don't get me wrong, there's still plenty of iconic music. But now that there's so much you can do, there's so much more ambience, if you will, and there's so much more to it compared to just da-da-da-da-da-da. I think there's great things about both kinds of composing as a composer myself, but I just think that's one huge reason why they had literally no choice but to make sure the music stuck out.
Yeah, I think music in like video games have definitely gotten a lot better because you can do anything. Like the soundtracks are beautiful. Well, I mean, if there's money being put into it, they're like beautiful, and there's these full piece orchestras being hired out to do these things, and they're really deep. But like you said, when you have so few limitations, like we're not worried about making like this orchestral masterpiece. We want an earworm. We're gonna just these 3 notes you're gonna listen to it. This is what we got, and you're gonna remember it. I don't know,
but and if that's your goal, which for the record, I mean, for many composers, myself included, melody is king. Then the goal has been it's been met. Which I think is really good. I think melody is king. You know, it depends on what you're doing, but I really do believe in that. So that's why, you know, unless you ask someone who's a die hard fan of kind of these big video games, that's why you can ask almost anyone who plays games to sing the Mario song versus the music in Witcher 3 or whatever, right? Like, I'm not saying that's bad. I love the beautiful, lush orchestral pieces, and in terms of actual sophistication and composition, Witcher's got it beat. But in terms of just, oh yeah, da-da-da-da-da-da, or whatever, it's incredible. But once again, there's some music I think of like, by the way, this is not the topic at all. But I think of like effective ambient music. I think of like Minecraft, like back in the day, Minecraft, like those original songs from what is he, C8 something? I can't remember what he went by. C8.
I don't remember the
4.
name. I don't remember what the
Something
name of
like
the
that.
artist was. Yeah,
but I looked into that because I was like, oh, this is amazing. But it was so effective, and it wasn't even like super melodic. Like it was melodic, but it wasn't Mario or Zelda or Sonic melodic. It was very more. You had to be like experiencing the game to really feel that melody and really let that music take over. But it did its job so well. Does that make sense?
Yeah, the point of that music wasn't to stand out, but to blend in, which it always stood out when it happened because Minecraft, when there's no music playing, is just a very quiet game other than you like smacking dirt or whatever. But when it does come on, it's like, oh, music's playing. But like it was always meant to be like more calming and just kind of blend into the game as opposed to stand out.
Which is interesting because it almost as a counter to what you just said, because of the nature of it. At least it used to be random. I don't think it's as random anymore. I heard with updates that like certain songs play in certain areas now. I don't know if that's true.
I think so. I don't keep up with the Minecraft lore like I used to.
Right. But like, you know, you and I both used to play together back in the day.
Yeah.
And those were some fun days. I got some stories to share with that. But anyway, there was something almost jarring because it was kind of a different idea at the time where you would be doing something completely random. You could be, you know, fighting enemies, or you could be just mining, or you could be building, or whatever you're doing. And all of a sudden, just a random song plays, and it always stops you for a second, and then you're familiar with it, and then it almost feels comfortable. It's like, oh, I like this song, or whatever, and then you're right back into it again. I like that. I liked how unique that kind of was. It wasn't structured. It was just throw it in there because the game doesn't know. I mean, obviously, game development's come a long way, so it can know what you're doing and when you're doing it. But it was just interesting. It just even then, but even the concept though at that time of just it doesn't know what you're doing. Just throw any song your way while you're doing whatever. I loved that idea. It almost took me away for a second, but then it brought me right back in, and then it did completely blend together atmospherically. So Minecraft is for me. Minecraft will always just have this place in my heart as one of my favorite games, even if I don't play it much anymore. It just had that much of an impact, just overall.
This is going to definitely be a topic maybe in the future, because I'm not going to hijack your episode and change the topic, but that's going to definitely be a topic like, what is the best video game ever made?
Oh my, well, God.
Because like Minecraft is like one of the best selling games of all time, probably one of the most recognizable games of all time. So like it would be in the running. So that's what, and we were talking about Mario, and Mario would be in there, and like that would be a whole other conversation.
Oh, we should talk about that, because it's funny because like my favorite would not necessarily be what I consider the best. You know what I mean? Like, and my favorite, I think some of my personal favorites I would consider to be among the best, but the best, that's tough. But it's not what we're talking about today, but jot that down because we should talk about that.
We should.
We're both game lovers. We could just do a gaming podcast. We could do it. We're recording in the morning today. This is a little different for us. And I kind of like this dynamic because we both have our coffee. I know you just refilled your coffee.
Yes.
Are you drinking Bone still, or are you out of that now?
I am not out of it. I got so much coffee over like the Christmas break. I've still got. I went through. I've only been through one of your packages of bones that you sent me, and I don't remember what the name of it was. Now it was I think it was the Highland one that I told you I was drinking. That's the only bag I've actually been through so far. Because besides that, my parents got this massive tub of Folgers Black Silk. Like I didn't know they made them this big. It's huge. And then a coworker, honestly, she was just trying to get rid of it because one of her family members gave her this, but she doesn't drink coffee. So she's like, well, why do I have this? But I drink it all the time at work. So she gave me this like bag of like gingerbread coffee. So I've been drinking the gingerbread stuff, the Folgers stuff, and I was going through your Highland Bones stuff, and I've just between rotating between those things. And once you open up a bag or a tub, you want to kind of work on that because over time it does get staler. It loses its freshness and its flavor or whatever. And because there's so much of that, and your bones bags are so small, I burn through the bone. Like that bone bag went really fast, but the other stuff is going so slow. I've got so much coffee.
But that's not a problem. I mean, coffee's a wonderful thing.
It's not a problem. It's not a problem. I'm not complaining. I'm just like, I want to... The only complaint is that the Bones ones you sent me are like fancy coffees, and I want to try them, but I also don't want my other coffees that I have open right now to go stale. So I'm like...
I know. I understand. I totally get it. I definitely wanted to get you something a little special because I know that coffee's a big aspect of your life.
I drink so much.
Speaking of coffee, I at work... We can kind of like tell like I work for my day job. I work for a very small company. So when we do like our order supply for like stuff we need in the office, sometimes we can say, hey, get this coffee. Because we just have a K-cup or not a K-cup, like a Keurig, but like a big industrial one that like a bunch of us can use.
Okay.
And so we'll get like hundreds of K-cups a month or whatever. And we'll get different ones. And I tried the Folgers Black Silk. And I know that because we have that right now, and we're trying to kind of go through it. I'm not a big fan. I've learned, like, dark roast is okay, but I'm really more of a medium roast guy. I didn't think it would be that big of a difference, but it is. It's dark.
It does make a difference, and I'm the dark roast guy. I of Folgers, I really do like the Black Silk. Not that this is sponsored by Folgers remotely, but that is if you're going to buy coffee almost anywhere, you can find Folgers, and there's probably a tub or two of Black Silk hanging around. So if you're not finding what you're looking for, that's usually a pretty easy go-to.
The packaging and the marketing and I guess the design work on it intrigued me because I'm like, ooh, fancy Black Silk.
Black Silk. Ooh.
So they did a good job.
They did.
But yeah, so I'm enjoying my coffee. I just got out of the shower. It always feels good to be clean and doing a podcast. Usually we record in the afternoon, and I'm all grimy from a long day of work. You're usually off on those days, so you may not be grimy, but I get grimy. And I say grimy, I don't actually get greasy. I just feel more dirty than I actually am, if that makes sense.
You made it through the day, and the day's dirt and the sweat and whatever.
The day's dirt.
Yeah, that accumulates from just existing in this cesspit of a planet.
Right.
You acquire a little bit of grime. See, I'm the opposite though. I do all my showering stuff in the evening because where I work, you get a food stench. So like I don't shower in the morning. I wait until after I've worked. So I'm an evening showerer. So actually I have not showered today. I've got the morning grime.
You got the morning grime. That's
the
real,
morning
man.
grime.
Well, no matter when we take our showers, one thing that I know you and I both do is when we get out of the shower, I did this just today, and it made me think of something that I wanted to share. So I looked at my beard, and I'm currently going through a transition with my beard. And I want to explain what that means.
It's gray.
So,
it's all gray now.
No,
you're old.
I'm not
You're
ready for
aged
that.
40 years.
Oh God, no. So I want to tell this to you specifically because you've always, had a nice beard.
My beard is eternal.
What'd you say? Your beard is a journal?
Eternal.
Oh, I thought you said my beard is a journal. Thinking,
my beard is a
where's
journal.
he going with this?
I like that as like a song title or something.
Don't tempt me.
Take it. It's yours.
I could do that. My beard is a journal. The song could be about a way that like your beard kind of like looking back at pictures tells you where you were in your life if your beard was like different. It's like your way of like tracking your days. My beard is a journal. That's interesting.
And you just a shout out songs from Sangamon Street. You do the story based songs a lot. Take that. Run with that. It's yours.
I might. My beard is a journal. I'm on it.
Okay.
Yeah, buy that today. You can get it on CD, Amazon, or you can, if you live in central Illinois, you can actually pick it up at Rebels Fair Collective in Oakwood, Illinois. So check that out, too. Anyway, so, okay, so I went through, so I got to start back here. So buckle in.
I'm buckled.
Here we go. He's buckled. He's going to be safe. He's not, keep your hands and feet in the vehicle at all times unless you're feeling risky. I went to get my hair cut. Now, this was about 6 weeks ago now, so I've already got my hair cut again since. But I've gone to the same guy forever, and he cuts it the way I like. I really appreciate how he does it. But he always offers. It's not like a fancy place, but it's not a super cuts either, right? It's like a sports clips. You know, it's kind of like an in between. It's a salon. Sure. So anyway, that being said, he's like, "Do you want me to do anything with your beard?" Because, as you know, my beard is full, but it's not thick. It's not long. I always keep it pretty short. In the winter, I let it grow a little bit, but it's not like as thick or as bushy as like your beard is. And he always offers, and I always say no. I like how I cut it. I've always cut it the same way. Let me. It's okay. Don't worry about it. But it was a little bit more really bush.
A little bit more personal about maintaining your own beard, you know?
Yeah. And I know some guys are really bad with maintaining their beards. Like, I understand that. But I pride myself in how well I maintain it. So I'm like, I got this. Don't worry about it. So, but for some reason, I hated how I looked in the mirror, because he cut my hair and my beard was still coming off like the winter beard. So it was really bushy, but my hair was really short because I just got it cut, and it was really sticking out of my face, and it did need to be trimmed down a little bit. So I'm like, yeah, just take some clippers and thin it out, because that's what I would have done anyway. But what he did, he ended up cutting the beard and lining it differently. So let me explain. So this is where we're going to get into the weeds. All right. Beard people. I learned. So he cut it basically at an angle that follows my jawline. Okay. What I learned, so when he did that, I was mortified. Like, I was embarrassed. It looked weird. I just wasn't, like, I was kind of disturbed by how it looked because it was weird and I was uncomfortable. But of course, me being the non-confrontational person that I actually am, I may sound like I am, but I'm not. I was like, how's that? I'm thinking, okay, it looks great. That's fine. And I wish I had a picture because I would send it to you. So here's what I learned. I went home and I told Steph, like, Steph, he cut my beard weird. Like, and I don't know what to do about it.
Weird beard.
So here's what I do. When I cut my beard, I go straight from the corners of my mouth, straight, like horizontally, to the sides of my face. I don't go at an angle. But what I learned, and I cannot believe I'm almost 30 and just now learning this, is that I was cutting my beard weird. He didn't do it. I did it weird for 15 years, almost. So your beard does this. I've seen your beard. Your beard goes at an angle, right? Yeah. And that's how our beards kind of naturally grow. And for some reason, I never made a conscious decision, but I always, if you look at any picture of me, this is to anybody, any picture you find of me on the internet that has a beard, it always goes straight across my face. So basically, it's thicker, and then as my jawline slowly goes upwards towards my ears, the amount of beard space gets smaller and smaller, right? And I realized that looks freaking weird. So I can't believe this. Sorry, we're getting into the weeds here. I'm sorry for those of you who don't do beards.
I'm looking at a picture of you now and like looking at a picture of me, and I'm like comparing. And I'm like yeah, I guess you're right.
And you probably never noticed, because why would you? It's just we're more focused on our own beards than other people's.
I also just
always
know
cut
you,
it well.
So I got used to your face. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So it's like I just know you.
True.
That's what you look like. So it's no big deal.
And it's funny because I was talking to Steph about it, and she said, "Well, one reason that you kind of stuck out to me, like physically, when we first met, she said I liked how you cut your beard. It was different. It was unique." And I remember her thinking, "How is it different? Millions of guys cut their beards short, like me." And then I realized it's totally weird. So now when I look at these pictures, I'm thinking, that doesn't look right. I love how it looks now. So what I've been doing is I've been slowly growing my beard at an angle. I'm still kind of forming it because it takes quite a few weeks to get the angles just right and to grow that hair that I've been cutting off for years. And it slims my face. And now when it gets thicker, it doesn't look like I just have an afro on the bottom half of my face. It looks more flush with my face because that's how beards are supposed to grow.
I've got a chin fro on my face.
It's seriously because it would always cut at a line, which you've seen if you're looking at the pictures.
Mm-hmm.
It's cut at a line, so it just as it would grow outwards, and it would be more prominent looking when it's growing directly out of my cheeks. It just looked kind of weird, and now I'm still forming it, but in future pictures now, and when you see me in person next time, you're going to see that it's at an angle and it looks like every other beard. So I was blaming this guy for cutting it weird, but then I realized I was the guy cutting it weird. I never knew.
I like to imagine that's why he offered to cut your beard. He's like, this guy, he needs saved.
He has no idea, right?
He doesn't even know.
And I didn't know. I was completely like, my eyes were opened, and at first I was stubborn to it. I was like, no, he did this wrong. This is weird. And then I was looking at pictures of like men's beards. That's all. And I looked up you. I'm being honest. I looked up like a video of you, and I thought, it's angled. Every guy's beard that I know is angled. The only difference is that some people do jawline stuff, but I don't do that. But even it's angled to the jawline. So I feel it's kind of similar to my jeans journey for those of you who have been with us since the beginning.
Shout out to the
I'm finally
jeans
more comfortable with how my face looks, and I never realized how weird it looked. So it's a nice change. What do you have to say about that?
Well, I'm curious to see as this continues. Actually, since you mentioned Stephanie, I'm curious to see if she ends up preferring the new beard look versus the straight edge beard look, since apparently that's something that caught her attention all that while ago. So I'm curious to see what she thinks about it after a while.
That's true.
I think, when you come up with a style, like, I don't remember thinking that your beard looked weird because it was straight along the lines or whatever. I think everyone finds a style that they like or that they can do, whatever. And everyone's got their own thing going on, Some people do, like, big bushy mustaches. Some people do soul patches or full beards or... Like, everyone does a thing, and it's less about, like, oh, that looks weird. It's just more like, oh, that's his thing or whatever. Especially when it comes to facial hair. Yeah, like, I know, like, I've gone through a few different iterations of my beard. It's weird looking back now when I did, like, just the chin beard, like the goatee, no mustache, nothing on the cheeks, like, just the chin beard, and it was, like, I don't know, 5 inches off my face or something like that. You remember those?
I do.
That's a weird look. Looking back on it now, that was a weird look, but that was just my thing at the time.
I was used to it.
You know what I mean?
I was totally used to it, too.
Yeah, people that knew me were used to it, but, like, since I do interact with people that don't know me, either at my job or, on the internet, I would get comments about it here and there. Some people that liked it, but, other people that are like, what is going on? I think it was... of our friends, I think Peach always gave me the most crap about that. I don't remember his comments. I don't remember what the comments were, but I think he was the one that always gave me the most crap of the people that we know. But that you pick a style and a thing, and even if it's weird, if that's your thing for a while, great. And it doesn't have to be your thing forever. So like you're discovering this new angular look as opposed to just the like straight across look or whatever, and you might wear that for quite some time, and then you either go back or discover something else that's new. That's what I meant earlier by like your facial hair can be kind of like really personal because it grows back in a few unless you struggle to grow facial hair, it grows back in a few days or whatever. You can start like patching out things that you don't like if you kind of made a goof or whatever. It's it's like pruning a bonsai tree or something.
It really is like constant, and I don't mean it in a bad way, but it's like it's maintenance. It's what's it like, sculpting almost. You can really make it what you want and unique to you, which is cool. I want to ask about. Do you remember? Of course, you remember. It was your face, but one of the most iconic looks for you, to me, at least, or the most memorable looks, is when you did because you did it for so long, just the on your chin.
Yeah,
and you kept your sides clear.
Right.
That went a long time, didn't it?
That did go a long time. I just did the chin beard because before before that, I had the full beard mustache size. The beard was quite large. There are videos of me out there with quite a big beard. And after that, I guess at some point I got a little fed up with the full beard, and specifically the mustache. I go back and forth about how much I like having hair on my lip. So, removing that, I thought I looked silly with the chin and the chin, but no, the cheeks and the chin, but no mustache. So I removed the cheeks and went with just the goatee, like a Billy Goat style off the chin or whatever. And yeah, that was a phase that lasted quite a long time. I thought I looked all right that way, that was what I was about for a while. And now I'm back to like the full beard. Not as long. I've trimmed back on the sides, but now I'm back to the full beard again.
No, this is just completely, obviously, one man's opinion. I will say that I feel like out of your iterations, I remember when you transitioned in recent times to full beard again, but a little bit more kind of maintained. I remember thinking, this is peak Weston. Like I really thought this. Like I thought it just really worked well on your face, and not that the chin part. I don't know what that actually would be called because that's not a soul patch or a goatee. It's not even really a goatee because isn't the goatee connected with your mustache?
Usually, yeah. I had the goatee minus mustache, right? Like I just call it the chin beard, but
the chin beard,
yeah.
So that never like looked bad, but then once I saw it in comparison to the beard, I thought the beard just fits really well. It looks good. I think it was a welcome change because I remember people were commenting about it when it happened. That was kind of big news for a while.
Oh yeah, when I went from chin beard back to growing out the full beard, I was getting routine comments about people liking the beard, which was quite nice because I know not everybody's a fan of beards, but getting that positive reinforcement that like, oh, this is looking good, and I think it shapes my face better along the jawline and the cheeks and all that stuff. I got a lot of positive comments about that. So I started shrinking the chin beard and then letting the rest of the beard catch up in length until eventually it was roughly the same size. I actually let the chin part of the goatee part of my whole full beard. So a little bit of my mustache, but mostly the chin. I let it grow a little longer than the rest of my beard actually. So I've got an electric razor and I've got an adjustable guard on it, and I forget what the setting is. I always have to like work my way down, but like the chin beard's like a 4 or 5 setting, and then like the cheeks though are like 2 or 3 or something like that. I actually let that go thinner than the goatee. It gives it a little bit more definition, but
that's smart.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have even noticed that, but I guess that does make sense to really kind of define that. That line on your face.
And that's like you said, sculpt. It's like sculpting, it's like art. Yeah. It's, you kind of like define your face a little bit.
Right. I might actually look and see, maybe do that. Because I've always been that's one of my physical insecurities is my lack of chin or real like defined jawline. Like it's just really rounded. It's just kind of a Duquette gene. And that's one reason why I've always had a beard to kind of hide that. It's one small reason. It's not the only reason.
I have to hide my face.
I hide my face because I'm insecure, but it's kind of true. Speaking of things that help boost your security within your own beard is
I was imagining this was about to be. I'm sorry, I thought this was about to turn into a VPN ad. Speaking about boosting your security, this episode's sponsored by
NordVPN.
Or I guess what was the joke? I made this joke on a stream. Sponsored by Nord Shark VPN.
You know what I love about all those is like nobody cares about their privacy. People like their selling point for those is always, hey, you can watch Netflix from any region. That's always their selling point, which is not what the point of a VPN is.
Well, that's because a lot of the people that they got to do, like the influencers they got to do their marketing, weren't fed like an accurate script, because a lot of before the Netflix ads started coming out, like, oh, watch Netflix anywhere or whatever, it was like, oh, use a VPN service, it'll protect you from viruses. It does not. That's just not how that works. So like the technical details were wrong, and so I think they started focusing ads towards more like the entertainment side of how you can use a VPN, because people were just getting the security details wrong. Yeah.
I guess I didn't realize that part. But it makes sense. My thinking was just like, nobody, like so many of us have like just kind of given up on having a lack of online privacy.
Right.
So, and it's like, okay, whatever. People know my crap. It is what it is. And it's like, oh, wait a second. I can watch that show that's only on like the European version of Netflix, But I was just going to say about beards really quick.
Yes.
There's about, not that kind of security, but things that make you feel secure with yourself. One of the few physical compliments I love getting is from another man who says, hey, I like your beard. It looks good. And there's always this interesting, I'm assuming you probably go through this too, like it'll be strangers sometimes, and I will also compliment a guy's beard if it's good. I won't compliment it if it's bad, but I always go out of my way, and a lot of men will go out of their way. I rarely hear women say it, but men will go, I like how you cut your beard, or I like, it looks good. I'm like, thank you. Like that compliment makes a difference to me every single time.
Men recognize other like good
beauty
beards on a man, you know what I mean? Like, well, because women can go back and forth, because women can either just like not like a beard or like a beard or whatever. Women, I'm not a woman, so I'm about to speak for all women here. No, I'm just kidding. They have different opinions on beards, I think, in general, just as a species than men.
Oh yeah,
as a species. I think all deep down, we all just want to be like cavemen with like massive, beautiful beards.
Yes.
I think ultimately we all want that, even if you think you don't. You really do. Like, it's just So I think men just recognize beards differently. I've had people ask me for advice on their beards.
Wow. See, I've never gotten. That's cool. The only kind of advice I've gotten is, actually, I don't know if I ever really have. I guess I've had conversations about, like, what do you use to, I guess, kind of maintain it? Like, just because it looks so flush with my face, and I do use a little bit of, like, oil and stuff like that, and a little bit of wax from time to time. But I believe people would ask you, because your beards have gotten long over the years, but they've never seemed like ungroomed. They've always seemed like clean, healthy beard types. Like it's never looked like.
I'm kind of just gifted this way. I've got very healthy facial hair where I'm lacking.
This way.
Where I'm lacking in the hair department on my head. Like, I'm not bald, but like there's just not a lot going on up there. But the facial hair comes in strong and healthy, and so it doesn't require a lot of work from my end to try to make it look strong and healthy. It just is. So, people will comment on it and, wow, good beard or whatever. And I've had people ask me, like, if I treat it, do I use oils? I had someone ask if I use those, like, they sell like those growth oils that I'm like 99% sure are snake oil. It's just a scam, but the growth oils for beards and stuff. And I'm like, no. And then I just kind of go over my beard treatment. I've had, especially when you have a big beard, if you ever spend a little too long at a bar and people are getting a little sloshed, if you start chatting up with someone sitting next to you, they're going to want to touch your beard. It's weird, but
like, do you let them?
Pre-COVID times, if we've all had enough, if the guy's buying me drinks and he wants to touch my beard, sure. You know what I mean? Like,
hey,
I guess
buy me a drink first.
Like, buy me a drink first, and then you can stroke my beard or something. Like, especially because my beard comes in pretty soft. Actually, it's not like, pokey.
Right.
So people want to pet my beard.
Like, I always make sure that it's cut pretty thin at the bottom, like closer to my neck, because it gets so itchy if you don't keep that.
I don't get an itchy beard. I'm just blessed in that way.
Clearly you are.
I am, yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was the section of our podcast about beards. Thank you for listening. We're going to take a quick break, but when we come back, Weston, we're going to be playing a little game where we take iconic characters used in like various marketing things, and we're going to play a little Mandela effect game, and you're going to have to guess if these characters have facial hair or they don't without looking at them.
Okay, I'll get Google ready so I can cheat.
No, that's not how you do it. We'll be right back. Profoundish is brought to you in part by the Two Piece Podcast, a show where my significant other and I compare and contrast our top 5 lists on a variety of topics. Not only is it fun, but we also provide facts and trivia about our topics. Come laugh, learn, and listen to the Two Piece Podcast on your preferred platform of choice.
Profoundish is brought to you in part by Magic Man Mo, a gaming YouTube channel run by me. We stream and we do variety Let's Plays. Check out a short stream compilation to see if it's something that you're going to be into. It's a lot of fun. I made it, so I know. That's Magic Man Mo on YouTube.
Welcome back. Hope you enjoyed our ads. You know, we got to tell you what we have to offer.
Yeah. What we've got going on. I feel like we're deep into 2023 now. We're about to talk about marketing stuff, so it's kind of related. We're deep into 2023 now, and I feel like I need to update my ads, just like re-record them. You know what I mean?
I was thinking the same thing. We should do that soon, or at least add more or whatever.
Yeah, everybody at home has been listening to the same the same rotation of ads for like ever.
We're probably like, God. Yeah, we should do that. We should do that soon. But for now, we're about to jump into this game here. So I was thinking, we're talking beards. What would be a fun activity that we do in the second half of the show? And I thought, I love the so there's this episode of The Office, and where they talk about Stanley, if you know who that character is in the show. And he's not present in a particular episode, and there's this whole scene, an entire scene just about does Stanley have a mustache? And nobody remembered if he had a mustache or not, even though they see him every day. And that got me thinking. There's a lot of characters and what are they called? Like mascots for various products.
Yeah,
that I feel like we could kind of be thinking about the same thing. So we're going to play a little game here where I have 10 mascots for various brands,
okay,
that either have or don't have facial hair to any degree. So what I'm thinking is, as long as you get over half of these correct, there's a little bit of there's consequences here. So if you get over half correct, if you win, I have to go onto Twitter and proclaim that you have the greatest beard in all the land. Okay?
Okay.
If you lose, so meaning if you get less than half correct, you'll have to proclaim that I have the greatest beard on Twitter, but there's an extra.
No.
There's an extra thing. Live, right here on the podcast, you have to pluck one of your beard hairs as we're recording.
Oh.
And you have to make it a deep one that hurts.
That would have been easier to do, to find when I had the bigger beard, because I actually keep it shorter than I used to. I think I've got, you know what? I'm looking under my chin right now. I think I found one. Okay, yeah, okay, that's a good one.
You got it ready. Just hold on to it.
I've got a good inch and a halfer right under my chin here I can pluck.
Perfect. So you're ready. So do you kind of understand the rules? Basically, I'm just going to give you the mascot, and then you have to tell me yes or no they have facial hair, just from your memory.
Okay. Yes, I understand.
Feel free to play along at home, too. This is going to be fun. All right, here we go. First up, Mr. Peanut, the iconic yellow peanut. Does he have any sort of facial hair? Beard, mustache?
No, he does have a monocle, though, which is the famous one is the Monopoly Man does not have a monocle. Mr. Peanut does, but no beard.
Yeah. That's true.
And also, I even on technicality, just in case you think I'm wrong, Baby Peanut definitely did not have facial hair. Remember that period of time where what I don't remember what happened. The Mr. Peanut guy died or some nonsense or what. I think it was over New Year's. They made a baby version as the quote unquote new mascot. I don't know if they've dropped that already, but for a brief time, a baby version of the Peanut was their mascot.
I must have missed that. I was completely, I was under a rock for that one. I had no idea.
You think you know your mascot? I know
think you know your peanuts?
I know my peanuts.
So I think some of these kind of vary in difficulty, and some you might have to think about. So this next one
are you going to tell me if I was right or wrong?
Oh, I didn't tell you. No, he has no facial hair.
I know I'm right, but I need you to tell me. I need that validation.
Some people online, because when I was looking different mascots up, some people thought that he did have a mustache. They were probably thinking of some other character. I don't know who.
I mean, I can see it because they're doing the whole monocle fancy peanut guy. You kind of imagine a curly Q mustache or something, but he does not.
Next up, we all love oatmeal. Does the Quaker man have any sort of facial hair?
Okay, so I'm going to backtrack you a little bit. I do not like oatmeal. Actually,
Okay,
I like
well,
it in cookie
I
form.
like oatmeal.
I will eat an oatmeal cookie, but for breakfast or whatever, like a bowl of oatmeal, no thanks. I'm okay.
Oh, I love it. I take a little bit of oatmeal, then a little bit of almond butter, and I mix that up. Oh, it's good. Yum.
Is the oatmeal? This is the Quaker Oats guy, right?
Yes.
Okay. Because I'm remembering, I'm not looking it up, I promise, but I'm remembering him as like a Quaker, right, from like the 1700s or something, America, white hair. That's what I'm imagining, the old guy. But I don't think he had any facial hair. I think he was clean shaven. I think he had like the white hair, like a wig or whatever. But I don't think he had anything going on the chin.
Is that your final answer?
Final answer: no facial hair on the Quaker Oats man.
You're off to a great start. You are correct. No facial hair.
I wonder if that's because it's Quakers, were a religious group. I wonder if they had anything against actual facial hair. Like maybe they weren't allowed to. I don't know. Because that is like a thing in different religions and cultures where you can or cannot have facial hair. So
that is true. I'm not sure, but I learned that you don't like oatmeal, and that disappoints me. All right, number 3. Here's something that I know we all love. We all love Cheetos, right?
I do like Cheetos. Chester
the cheetah.
Oh, well, okay, well, this is a little trickier, because he's got the, what are they called? It's not a snout, a muzzle, right? Whatever cheetahs have on their face, right? Like, where, like, under his eyes, like, the jaw of, like, a cheetah or whatever you would call that. Yep. I know it's, like, white. I feel like he's often depicted with a goatee that, like, kind of, like, forms from that snout. I think I'm trying to imagine in my head if I'm just like making that up because like he's a cool cat with a goatee and sunglasses. Right. You know what I mean? Am I making that up? I don't think I am. I think he's depicted as having just a little bit of a goatee under there. I think so. I'm locking in a goatee on Chester Cheetah.
You're locking it in?
Yeah.
Weston, you are rocking this. He does have a small, very small, it's like if you look it up, it's not really very obvious at all, but he's got a very small little like chin goatee thing.
Yeah, that's what I was remembering. I'm like, he's got a little something going on down there.
See, I was hoping I would get you on that one because when I thought of him, I did not think of that. I didn't think he had anything. So you're doing great.
You just you underestimate my knowledge of beards. All right,
I guess.
Actually, I don't remember. I think this was for one of our friends' Friendsgivings or friend Christmases from forever ago. I think it was from one of those. Logan, our friend Logan, who always like got us like games and stuff. He actually got me. I think it was from him. If it was from someone else, whoops. But he got me a card game called Beardos. And it's a card game where the cards have like beards, and you have to say what celebrity that beard is from. Like it's just the beard. It's like an artist's rendition of just the beard, and you have to name what celebrity that beard's from.
Oh, that's awesome.
So like this game is that, but with mascots.
That's actually really cool. That's awesome.
Yeah.
I think I briefly remember, at least the name sounds familiar. Like I think I remember you getting it or something. Beardos.
Yeah.
All right. So right now you're off to a great start. If you just get a few more right, I'm going to have to hop on Twitter and proclaim that you have the greatest beard.
I mean, that's just the truth. We're just asking you to go on Twitter and say the truth. I mean, that's not hard.
I don't know. I think it is pretty hard for people to go on Twitter and say the truth. Maybe that's just me. No, I'm just kidding. But am I?
Snap.
All right. Next up, we've got Chef Boyardee. Oh boy! Oh boy! Oh boy! Is there facial hair?
Oh, what does he even friggin' look like? He's
See, I kind of mix him up with the Quaker Man sometimes in my head. Like at least some like facial features I do.
I'm imagining like a very, very like stereotypical like Italian art. You know, like sort of like I don't know art very well, but that like sort of flat image in the like kind of like thick outline style of like a very round, or I should say a rotund chef in a white hat and a white apron. I don't remember if he's got like rolls, like chin rolls or not. But for some reason, I'm wanting to imagine he's got chin rolls. I don't know if that's true or not, but that's what I'm imagining. And the fact that I'm trying to imagine him with, I think, big round cheeks and chin rolls, I assume he does not have a beard, since that's where my brain went. I'm trying to think if that's even the Chef Boyardee guy or just some vague Italian stereotype that I have in my head for some reason.
That's funny.
It's like, am I racist or am I imagining an actual person? I don't know.
That's a good question to ask yourself from time to time, I feel like.
Am I racist?
Am I racist or am I just imagining this just a stereotypical person here? It's good to have those check-ins.
Without Google image, does he have a mustache though? I don't think he has a beard. Does he have a little mustache? Oh, this one's the hardest one for me so far. I'm imagining this rotund chef. I don't think so. You know what? I'm thinking Italian chef, right? Like usually you don't want like hair and food. So I think he's a professional and he shaves his face. I think this is a clean shaven chef from Chef Boyardee.
You locking it in?
I'm locking it in.
You are incorrect.
No!
Chef Boyardee does have a mustache. I thought you were going to go for like a whole sweep and get them all. But you just lost it, man.
Is it like a really thin black mustache?
He has white hair, and it's a white mustache. He's an old Italian man.
I think I am just being racist. Is he even round?
I think he is. He's not as round as I think you think. You can look him up now. I'm not sure. I can't remember. I just remember looking him up because I didn't know.
I want to look this up.
Chef Boyardee.
I might be just imagining some other Italian chef image that I've seen somewhere, because I've got a very distinct image in my head, but I don't know if it's Chef Boyardee or not.
I'll type in Chef Boyardee mascot. It's not a super thick mustache.
Oh my god, no! I was thinking, I don't know what I was thinking of but I was not thinking of this man. No, this is just like an older regular dude with a mustache. Why can I not zoom in on this? Oh, I clicked on the shopping tab. God dang it, Google. Curse you.
I didn't realize. Maybe this is me just being kind of just not knowing, but like I had no idea that this was based on a real chef.
I mean, he
was a real chef.
I would have assumed it was based on a real chef just because it's Chef Boyardee, but
Chef Boyardee, yeah.
I wouldn't have been surprised if it wasn't. It was a made up name, but
right.
Boyardee is a very distinctive sounding name, so I'm not surprised. Yeah, I see the actual real life image of the guy, and his logo looks just like him. That's hilarious.
And he had a mustache, so there it is.
He's got this
missed
like
one
red ascot or whatever that is. It's not a scarf. I think it's an ascot.
I think it's an ascot. Yeah,
but yeah, he's got
the
this
mascot has an ascot.
I like that. But yeah, he's got this little fuzzy white mustache. Yeah, you see
what?
There's
this picture in Google Images, and it says, "My grandpa looks like Chef Boyardee," and it's I guess it's a Reddit post. It's so funny if you look through Google Images, all the weird things you find sometimes.
You do. Like I'm scrolling down and Chef Boyardee, and for some reason there's just an image of it's the Chef Boyardee logo, but the Boyardee letters are in multiple colors for some reason, and I think that's a face of maybe like a chibi version of Natsuki from Doki Doki Literature Club, or some random anime girl, I don't know, replacing the chef's face.
Oh, goodness. Well, Weston, you missed one, but you're still on track. I mean, you got 3 out of 4 so far. You're doing really good. All you have to do is surpass 5, and you'll have won this thing. All right.
I'm so disappointed. No clean sweep, though.
I know. I was thinking you're going to go for it, because some of these are, as you know, more difficult than others so far. But all right, next up on the list is Tony the Tiger.
They're great.
Is there any sort of facial hair on Tony the Tiger? So,
like, he's a tiger. He's furry. I mean, that kind of goes, like Chester Cheetah was, too. I'm only bringing it up now because I'm like, I don't know. I feel like Tony the Tiger wouldn't have facial hair. He's got the same kind of problem going on that Chester had, where like I know he's got like, because he's like got orange fur, but he's got like that sort of white snout thing going on in my mind, in my brain. If I'm wrong about this, I'm just misremembering. But I don't remember him having like a little chin action like Chester did. I almost want to certainly say he doesn't have like a random mustache. I think that would be kind of awkward. Just some random mustachioed tiger hanging out with kids. Just like, I don't know, for some reason that's just...
It's a little creepy.
For some reason that's creepier to me. I want to say no.
Okay.
They're great. They're great.
Final answer?
Tony the Tiger. No facial hair. Just regular tiger fur like you'd expect, but no facial hair. Locking it in.
Locking it in. Weston, you are correct. No facial hair.
Yeah. I thought so.
You're
He
doing
seemed like a
good.
stand-up, clean-shaven guy.
Yeah, because it would be kind of creepy. It's like it's already a tiger hanging out with kids, which sounds dangerous. And then if he's got a mustache, like, hey, you want to touch my mustache? It could just lead to really weird places really quick. So,
All right.
I
You
understand
gotta avoid any potential mustachio. Like, children cannot be exposed to mustachios. That's just dangerous.
right. All right. Here we go. You ready?
I'm ready.
Oh, sorry.
Steady.
I haven't heard from Steph all day, and she's like sending me like 6,000 texts, so I got a little distracted there for a second.
Read them all live on air right now.
All right. Are you with that Weston guy? I hate him. He's so stupid. Oh, I shouldn't have read that out loud.
No, it's fine. I know how she feels. Continue.
That's not true. All right. Here we go. The Monopoly guy.
The Monopoly Man. I actually mentioned him earlier. I think. No. Did I mention him or the Pringles guy? Because there's always the thing with, like, when the Monopoly Man's got a monocle. No, he doesn't. That's one of those common Mandela effects.
Right.
I don't think he's got facial hair. He's an old guy with a top hat. No monocle.
This is a Mandela effect, yeah.
But I'm trying to remember if he's got... No, Pringles has a mustache. I don't know why Pringles and Monopoly Man are, like, synonymous in my head. Like, they should be the same person, but they're not.
I kind of get it, because like, it's just like the kind of the plain, like, black and white face. I kind of get it.
And they're, I don't know, like, at one point in time, both had very similar old-ish looking logos. I don't know. I think Monopoly Man didn't have a mustache. Now I'm imagining him with a white mustache, but not like the Chef Boyardee one. I'm imagining like a pointy one. I don't think so, though. I think that's just Pringles, and Pringles I think has
I'm going to need you to lock this in, man. Going to need you to lock it in.
No facial hair. Monopoly Man, no facial hair. Zip, zero, zilch. Locked in.
All right, Weston, you are incorrect.
Oh, God
the
darn it.
Monopoly
Does he have a
guy
mustache?
has a black mustache.
A black one? What?
Yep.
I'm looking it up.
Look it up. It's true. He's like, he can't be right. He's lying.
Actually, the first image I got was him in a white mustache.
Is it a white mustache? I thought he had a black mustache.
I see when I just Google image Monopoly mustache, the first thing that comes up is just a black curly mustache, but then the first image that actually has him, like his character, like it was just a picture of the mustache. The first picture of him is in a white mustache, so that's a little confusing.
I feel like you talked yourself out of that one.
I did.
Like you were almost there, and then you just kind of psyched yourself out.
Because this is what I'm looking at is the exact style of mustache I thought he had. But then I'm like, well, no, yeah. I think maybe I'm making that up. This is the exact mustache I thought he had, and then I talked myself out. You're absolutely right.
So, wow, at the moment, this could still be anyone's game here. So we have 4 mascots left. You currently have 4 correct. You just need one, and I'll consider that a win for you. All right, here we go.
Oh, I guess you said
like
more than
beans?
half before. I guess a tie is a tie.
Wait, actually, I guess it is more than half. So I did say more. So I guess you need 2 more.
Oh no, I don't. I have to. I have to get down on this. Okay,
you have to get at least 6. That's right. I'm glad you were forthcoming with that because I would have just said yeah, but you're right. I did say more. Do you like green beans?
No.
You know where?
I like every other bean. Any other bean you can name, love it. Green beans, no.
Just not those dang green ones. Well, I'm glad you don't like them because our next mascot is the Jolly Green Giant.
Good thing I know what he looks like. I know he's big. He's a big old giant and he's green. I've seen him before in things, but I don't buy green beans, so I can't say I've seen him very often.
You know, and he's got like his his fists like at his sides. You know, he's like standing all like triumphant.
Yeah, he is a triumphant. I mean, he should be, right? Like he's jolly. He's giant.
He's green.
Ain't no one messing
green,
with that guy,
God's sake.
right? I mean, yeah. I can't for the life of me imagine whatsoever what his face looks like.
I was kind of hoping that. So just a gamble.
It really is. I'm imagining I think he does. He's not like bald. He's not like Kratos up in here or something. I think he's got like a shot of like short hair. I think he's got like short, not like buzz topped or something. I think he's got short hair on his head, but his face. No, I don't think I think he's clean shaven. I feel like they really focus more on the giantness of the Jolly Green Giant in their marketing and less on the facial hair, you know? He's not like a fantasy dwarf, right? He's a jolly giant. Ho, ho, ho. Oh, not ho, 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 because that'd be like Santa Claus. But like, you know, I'm a big old giant. No, I think he's clean shaven. I'm locking it. This is how my brain works. I have like undiagnosed ADD, okay?
Clearly.
I don't know if that's true or not.
All right.
I'm locking in clean shaven.
In?
I'm locking in clean shaven.
Weston, I hate to say it.
I'm right.
You are correct.
Yeah!
You now have 5, and there's 3 left. You have to get at least 1 more correct, and you have won. And then I will need to proclaim that you have the greatest beard on Twitter.
Okay. I can't lose, but I haven't won yet.
That's right. You're close. Here we go. Next up, we have Lefty, the hamburger helper glove. Remember that glove at all? A little bit?
A little bit. I had to think about it. The first thing that came to my mind was Glover. Remember Glover? We played that game together forever ago.
Oh my gosh. You know what's funny? That's actually more rare to pick up and buy now, so I'm kind of glad we got that when we did. We need to play that. That game was crappy. We should play it again.
That game was odd.
It was that weird era when everyone was trying to make a platformer and some were good and some just weren't.
Yeah,
you know?
Everyone's trying to make a 3D platformer with a mascot. Yeah,
they're all trying to do like a Sonic/Mario. Some worked, some didn't.
But as far as Lefty goes, I think I'm imagining him fairly clearly. He's a glove, no facial hair, just glove, glove and a face, no facial hair.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Come on, Lefty, don't let me down. I'm locking in Lefty.
You're correct.
You're darn right I am.
I'm so mad that you're correct. We made it close. But okay, let's go through these last 2 just for the heck of it here because I'm just curious.
Yeah. No, for sure.
All right. Next up, we got 2 more. Next up, we have the Vlasic stork. Vlasic.
Oh. I was going to say no. But he might have like kind of a Chester Cheetah thing going on. I actually don't know if he's got like a little feather action that's kind of like looking like a beard. I want to say no. For some reason, I'm imagining him with like bushy eyebrows, though. I don't know why that is. You know what? I think he does. I think he's got some sort of weird like feather goatee thing going on. I want to say the Vlasic stork does actually have facial hair.
You ready? You locking it in?
I'm locking it in.
You are incorrect.
Okay.
He does not have any facial hair.
My gut instinct was that he didn't. But then I started thinking about it, and I think I talked myself into it because of feathers, maybe? Okay.
Right. I kind of would envision that, too, because he does have bushy eyebrows. So you'd think he's a little unkept, so he's probably got a little peach fuzz going on at the bottom. I understand
I like that
thinking.
I remember the eyebrows. I'm like, I feel like he's got bushy eyebrows.
Right. Final one. I don't know if you're going to know who this is. Maybe you do, and I just didn't really know. But I didn't know this mascot existed. Or maybe I did and just forgot. But Cinnamon Toast Crunch mascot, Chef Wendell. Do you know who that is? There's like a chef in those old commercials when we were growing up.
Cinnamon?
Like a
chef?
Like a cartoon chef.
Is he a very rotund Italian chef?
I'd even have to look. Let me look him up. I will give you that. Let me find that for you.
That would be hilarious. It's like, let's go back to my Chef Boyardee. Whoever I was imagining for Chef Boyardee, maybe that was Chef Wendell. No.
Remember, you got to ask yourself, am I racist?
Am I being racist?
Chef
I know
Wendell,
for a
let's
fact
see.
that I'm imagining a real chef image from somewhere, but I don't know if it was from a real food, a video game, a movie. I don't know.
Here's all I'll say. He's not a big guy, but he is old.
I have no idea what Chef Wendell looks like. All I'm imagining is the Cinnamon Toast Crunch itself.
Right, me too.
And for some reason, my brain keeps thinking of Apple Jacks. Remember the little cinnamon stick guy and the little apple dude?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So I'm thinking of them, but that's literally a different cereal.
Right.
Is cinnamon, man? I'm not being racist. The cinnamon stick was like Jamaican or something, right? Like,
Yeah,
I'm not
the cinnamon
crazy.
stick was racist. We're not. I'm just kidding.
I don't remember Chef Wendell, but if I had to take just a shot in the dark, if it's an old chef, I'm gonna say yes, facial hair. Just taking my inspiration from Chef Boyardee. Yes, facial hair.
Sure.
Lock it in.
Dang. You barely made it. That is incorrect.
Oh no! So at the end, I did get 6 right, but I did get 4 wrong. That was close.
That was good. You had me scared at the beginning, man. You had me scared. I thought you were gonna whole sweep.
Chef Wendell. I'm looking him up. Oh,
Yeah, look him
he does look familiar now. I've seen him on a box or something, but God knows the last time I've seen this face, I would have definitely been a child.
I would have definitely been a child. Well, Weston, it doesn't matter if you're a child or a man because you won. So now I have to hop on Twitter when this episode comes out and proclaim that you have the greatest spirit in all the land, even if I disagree. But we all know that I agree. So it's not that bad of a punishment. You would have gotten the worst punishment if you had to pluck a beard hair.
I mean, I'd have been okay. I'd have survived. I've had to do it before.
Yeah, but it's hey, listen, I've done it before, and it gets a little, your eye gets a little watery for a second.
It's easier when your beard's longer, though, to find a good loose one.
Honestly, that's a good point, because when I did it on my upper lip, and it hurt pretty bad.
Yeah, that's the worst. Yeah, that's plucking a beard hair is not as bad as plucking a lip hair.
Well, I will remember that for your next punishment for another game.
I mean, what are you talking about? That's so weird.
He's like, you're actually plucking your mustache hair. It feels so good. Like, it's the best feeling ever.
I love it. I'm doing it now.
Oh, my goodness. Weston, that was fun. Great job. You won fair and square. And we got to talk about hair today.
Fair, square, and hair.
Fair, square, and hair. Hey, where can people find you on the internet?
WestonHasty.com. That's my website. It has all the different things that I do. Specifically, I always promote my gaming channel on YouTube, Magic Man Mo, where I just play a bunch of games. But also maybe check out HastilyMadeDecision.com. It's my poetry blog. I write a bunch of haiku stuff. I mentioned it earlier in the episode. Check that stuff out. Follow me on Twitter at WestonHasty.
I do recommend a lot of his content. I don't recommend his Senryu, but I do recommend reading it because it is fun. You actually recently reached a milestone as of recording this.
I did, yes.
What was it? I can't remember what it was, but there's so many views or likes or something on it.
My blog, the HastilyMadeDecision.com, has reached its 5,000 views. It's not a lot, but I mean, it's literally a poetry blog. It's pretty niche.
I don't know if you plugged the social media specifically, but make sure you follow him on there because he's got. You do these. You'll make these little shorts on Instagram and stuff where you take your poetry and then you throw a song in the background, then you have this little imagery that kind of plays as well. It's actually really peaceful. I like reading them.
At Weston Hasty on Instagram as well.
So follow those out. Sometimes they make you think. Sometimes they make you a little sad, and I don't mean that in a bad way. I like sad stuff though too.
Yeah, no. Common themes are love and heartbreak, and sometimes self-reflection. Those are very common themes.
Yeah, and that's right up my alley in general. So I'm into it. So check it out. As for me, you can find everything I do at alexduquette.net. That's my landing page. And on there, you can do all kinds of things from listen to my music, like my new album, Songs from Sangamon Street. You can listen to this podcast even at alexduquette.net/profoundish. You can also look at my merch. Everything's there. All my medleys are there, all my music stuff. And you can even buy my CD if you want to really support what I do. Buying a CD is the best way to do it, and there's a link to do so there. So check that out. Weston, you're always the best at this. Give us our Profoundish plugs here at the end.
You've been listening to Profoundish. Wherever you're listening, give us a like, a favorite, a subscription, or whatever it is you can do. Leave us a comment. Tell us what you think of this episode. Follow our social media at Twitter at ProfoundishPod, Instagram at ProfoundishPod, and TikTok at ProfoundishPod for shorts, updates, and full episodes. You've been listening to Profoundish.
Groom your beards, make them look pretty. Also,
And,
don't
get people drunk at the bar so they touch your beard.
Yeah, get people drunk at the bar so they touch your beard, and also sometimes just do a checkup and go and think about, am I being racist? Or am I, it's good to ask yourself that, because we want to be the best versions of ourselves.
just be honest with yourself. This is self-improvement, all right?
Yeah, self-improvement. All right, we'll see you guys next time.
Bye.